He said to me that the Muslims in Indonesia, they say that Jesus was married. And they say that Jesus was teaching as a rabbi in the synagogue, and therefore he have to be married. I mean, the Muslims, the Muhammadan, the black stone kissers, they are so desperate. First of all, Jesus was not a rabbi in the synagogue. Otherwise, give us a reference. Secondly, you idiot, there's no requirement in the Bible that a rabbi have to get married. This is number two. Number three, you idiot. Isn't it Jesus himself in Matthew chapter 19, verse number 12? He encouraged those who want to serve God not to get married. So how the teacher will tell you it's better not to get married, and he himself is married? This is Matthew. There is people who they are born, they cannot, marry. They have a defect in their birth. And there is people they cannot marry because somebody did something to them, like slaves. They used to, cut their private part. But there is people who choose not to do so because they want to serve the kingdom of the God. So the desperate Muhammadan, Aka Muhammad, he says, claiming that this is not a teaching of Jesus. So even you Muslims, I mean, they're very weird. Why your prophet Muhammad didn't say that Jesus himself, he get married? The guy who knew about the ant speaking, he did not know what Jesus did. He knew about Suleiman and the ant. He went to the valley of the ant, and one of the ants, she said to the other ant, hide, otherwise Suleiman. What is killing me in this story, how she knew his name, Suleiman. So if we go to the stupid Quran, the yellow pages of Muhammad, we will find in chapter 57, verse number 27 says that, to be not married is something we fabricated. But as you see, this is false, because this is what Jesus himself said, and Jesus himself was not married. So desperate, desperate. Yeah. And by the way, your God, Allah, he was thinking to get married, but look what happened. His wife, she ran away. So I find that the Muslims, the Muslim, they cannot challenge somebody. He is, like he don't know his belief. He don't like, and he said, this guy, he says to me, and I think maybe you did not get my answer, my question. So I will repeat it again. What's wrong with you? Don't you read the Bible? And secondly, when somebody says something to you, tell him, give me the reference. I mean, it's very simple. Suddenly the Muslims now are expert with the Jewish tradition. There's no teaching in the Bible saying such a thing. What the Jewish do, they have customs, and depend on the student too. If the student, they want a rabbi, he is married, they will not follow him unless he is married. If they don't care, they don't care. Same time, Jesus was not a rabbi in a synagogue. People call him prophet, call him rabbi. Rabbi means teacher. For the donkeys who do not know what rabbi means. Maybe those people think that rabbi means a priest. Rabbi means teacher. So, very silly people, desperate. When a Muhammadan, he says something to you, and you say that the Christian do not know how to answer, because they are, they are not trained, they are not expert, they are not prepared, and they are not well versed. As simple as that. Otherwise, the Bible says clearly that Jesus is the one, he said, those who want to serve the kingdom of God, it's better for them not to get married. So what about him, himself? Same time, when somebody, he mentions something, let him give you a reference. Very simple. Tell him, show me where it says, anywhere, any book, go ahead, Muhammad, he wanted to increase the number. Jesus, he wanted quality. Muhammad, he don't care for quality because he himself wasn't a quality. If Muhammad was equality, he will not be jumping from a woman to a woman to a woman. And the Muslims themselves, they say to you that Muhammad was marrying many women for political reason. That means Muhammad is a fraud. Political reason is no better than a scam, because simply you are marrying a woman just to use her. This is exactly what political reason. He married Khadija because she is rich, so he will have a political place in the society. He will level himself up. She is very rich, he is very poor. So he married a woman, she is way older than him. She have a bunch of husbands before him, a bunch of kids from previous husbands. And he was willing to marry, and this is, you know, the Arab, they don't marry anyone. Go and ask anyone. Arab don't marry women are older than them unless she is rich, which means they married her for her money. Even Muhammad himself, he says a woman, she will be married for 3 reasons. And the first reason, he said, for her money. Otherwise, Muhammad as a person, he is a pervert who he liked to have sexual relationship with the children. And this is why Muhammad here, you know, he advised his followers to marry children because you can play with them. As you see the story of Jabir, and this is a Sahih story, very authentic. Jabir is a person who married a woman, she is previously married, and she is a widow. And here you ask yourself, what is the business of this filthy man, Muhammad? He asked him, did you marry a virgin or previously married? Muhammad investigating the vagina now. He want to know the situation of the vagina. Does it have wax in it, or the wax is gone? Imagine somebody, he asks a question like this to you about your wife. Was she a virgin or not a virgin? A man who respects himself, if a man asks him such a question, he will break his nose. But because Muhammad is a scumbag and his companions are no different. So look, why Muhammad is upset now? Is she virgin or previously married? I said, O Messenger of Allah, she is previously married. What the Prophet says, why? 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 Why you don't marry a young girl? And now a Muslim might say to you, she is a young girl, so what? It's not a, you know, she is not a child, she is a young girl. But if you read the rest of the hadith, you will see that it says here that my brother or my father, he died and he left me 9 or 7 daughters. This guy, he did not know how many behind him, which means he left behind orphans. So I did not approve the idea of marrying someone like them. Someone like what? Like them. So she is a child like them. Why? Why? Christian Prince, I challenge you to answer this question, and I will give you 5 BMW. First of all, show me one verse in the Bible it says that Christ was a Christian. Christian Prince, if you could not answer this question, I understand. This is Abdul is challenging me to prove that Christ was a Christian. The man was a person of IQ little bit. He says to him, why I want to marry a child when I marry a woman should take care of the children's. Your prophet is a pervert. So in order for Jesus to be a Muslim, as Muslim they claim, well, he have to be pervert like your prophet. Not only he have to be married, he have to marry children like your prophet. And then he go around and he advise people to marry babies. Didn't your prophet ask for the hand of his wife in the future when she was an infant? Habiba? Habiba, huh? Yeah. Anyway, so today our topic is about Allah is one God. I like that. The one Allah. The one, Allah is one. So my question to the Muslims, and I will show you in 2 seconds how the Muslims are in trouble. They do not know what to say. If I ask the Muslims Allah is one what they will say? Shall we give it a try? I will open my Skype. Only Muslims as usual can call me. Allah is one. This is what we hear from Muslims. They keep repeating that, and it's like a drama. Allah is one, brother. Allah is one, brother. Okay, and Allah is one what? My Skype right now is open. People who believe that Allah is one, you are welcome to call me and tell me Allah is one what? Who dare to call us and tell us Allah is one what? We have a Muslim, his name is Faisal. Let us see Faisal. Faisal is not online now, so he texts me from before maybe. Let us skip Faisal then. We have this guy Safaraz who knows nothing. This is the same guy who keeps saying to me, Christian friends, the only important one is where we go, heaven or hell. This is the important one. Do we have any Muslim would like to join us and tell us Allah is one what? Who is a Muhammadan? He can join us, please, and tell us Allah is one what? You don't know, don't you? He's one what? Any Muhammadan? Any brave Muhammadan? Why it's hard? So you make articles, Allah is one, and you know, if you go to the if you go to Muslim website, as long as no Muslim there to call, you know, if you go to a Muslim website, let's open one, just wait, with a search for Allah is one. Allah is one. You open the article, it says, say He is one, He is Allah, the one and the only. So, the only. Is that like I'm sexy and you know it? He is Allah. So if Allah is the one is talking, Allah, Abdul, listen, Allah is one what? He is the one and the only. What does that mean? First, if he is one, you are adding the word only to confirm that he is lonely or he is alone, or I'm not sure what does that mean. Chapter 112. This is what they are saying. This is their translation. If we go to chapter 112, verse number 1, we will find that this is false translation. And you know, the funny is, the name of the chapter is Al-Ikhlas, which means to be sincere. And the Muslim, they translated the name as monotheism. Look, the name of the chapter to be sincere in Arabic. The name of the chapter in English is monotheism. Say, O Prophet, He is Allah, one and indivisible. What? Where it says that? Where in the verse it says what we saw in the article and what it says here? All what says in Arabic is قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. where it says, let us go back to the article. Where it says he is the and only. Where in the verse it says the word only. Any Muslim can show me? And where in the verse it says that he is the indivisible. See how they are adding words? Those people, they are willing to fabricate their own book to make it sound maybe better, at least for them. You know, a Muslim, he paint his Quran. He paint it, you know, oh, this color is not good, the color of Allah, I will change it. I will add some words. Because here it says, Ahad. And Ahad, by the way, does not mean one. Ahad does not mean one. If you go and search in the Quran for the word Ahad, you will see always the word Ahad mean one of. Never in Arabic, Ahad mean one. Never. وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ. Chapter 2, verse number 102. And this is about Harut and Marut, who open a Hoributar school to teach magic. And they don't teach any man. You see? This is the word Ahad. Any man. Any man. Not one man. This is what Ahad means. This is the word Ahad in Arabic. And it is the same word in the chapter of Al-Ikhlas. So they lie when they translate. Ahad does not mean one, it means one of. Which means the same verse proving to us that Allah cannot be a single person because he is one of. Secondly, Muhammad here, the coward, he is trying to copy the Jews, where the Old Testament says, "O Israel, your God is Echad." This is Ahad, the same word. Echad. Echad is not one as a number. Echad mean unity. Mean unity. Echad is why the Bible says that a man and the woman, they get married and they will become one. The man and the women, they become one. What is the word used there? Echad. Echad. So when those, this potato religion, counterfeit religion, trying to copy from the Old Testament a statement, they fail. So Muhammad was trying to copy this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is a compound unity. This is Echad. Potatoes. Not to mention, to forget to mention that when you say he is one as is a meaning of number, that will destroy the meaning, because if he is one, that means we can count God. If the word one present number, just means there's two and there's three. Otherwise you cannot count. What one? One what? The only one here can fit is the one is coming from the Bible, and Muhammad the thief, he stole it from there. This is exactly what he is trying to cut from the Old Testament, is Echad. And this is the same word Jesus he used when he said that me and the Father is one. Echad. The one who saw me, he saw the Father. Additional to that, we mentioned many times before that, you know, the Quran itself mentioned that if this is a book made by other than Allah, which is very funny that Allah is saying that. Look at this. Just to show you how funny this book is. Chapter 4, verse number 82. It says, remember, this is not my translation. What do they not ponder? The Quran. If it had been from other than Allah, not God, the translation here says Allah, God. That's false. Allah. Change the translator. This is Arbari. Let us go to Shish Kebab. Ahmad Raza Khan. Pakistan. This is Pakistan. Raza Khan. Aman Rabbi Aman Raza Khan. Raza Khan will give you all the dukhan. Okay, Raza Khan. So, do they not ponder about the Quran? And had it been from anyone beside Allah, they would certainly find much contradiction in it. If Allah is one, as the guy from Pakistan, he is telling us, why Allah saying, if this is book made by other than me, I mean, why he's not saying by me? He says other than Allah. Who is talking? Allah. How he is the only one, and why he is talking about somebody else. And actually, this verse alone will destroy all the religion of Islam, because all the Quran is a book of contradiction. I challenge the Muslims actually to call me and make a challenge about this verse. Isn't it the same verse Mimi Hijab he quote for Borat? He says to him, the Quran says if there is if this book is made by other than Allah, there's contradiction. And then Borat, he said to him, even Borat is smarter than Allah. He said to him, I have a phone book, have zero contradiction. For sure it's not made by Allah. I mean, have you ever heard of a stupid thing? So if you write a book, have zero contradiction, that's mean you're a God. This logic is a proof that this God is not God, because he have a low IQ. Even the book of Joe Biden have zero contradiction. He must be God. Actually, he look one like God, to be honest with me. He's smart, intelligent, you know. He forgot his name, like Allah. He think that he is other person, like Allah. He speak about himself as a third person, like Allah. He speak about himself as he's not there, like Allah. You know. He forgot if he's a president or he is the you know, vice president, like Allah. Until now, we have zero Muhammadan trying to get Christian Prince busted. Zero. Let us call Safaraz. Maybe Safaraz can save us. I don't know. Maybe he is asleep. Let us wake him up. Safaraz now in Pakistan. No, he's actually in UK, I think. And right away, you will hear an amazing answer. Let us mute the speaker so it doesn't bother you. Maybe now he is celebrating slaughtering animals. Okay, he's not answering. You know, right now, the Muslims are slaughtering animals. And you know, the funny is, the Muslims, they say that we celebrate Al-Adha. You ask them, you will see a Muslim article saying, Christians are pagan. They speak about sacrificing. Jesus, he sacrificed his blood, you idiot. But so you celebrate now this day. Is it because God, he asked, you claim that this is your God, he asked Abraham to sacrifice his son? This isn't it his son is a human? And you know, when Muhammad, he copied this story, by the way, he got himself busted. Why? Because even the verse which he quoted or speaking about Abraham, Allah, he sent his own sacrifice. So even the Muslim believe that Allah himself, he gives sacrifice. And here the problem is, Allah gives sacrifice to whom? The Muslim, they says to you, if Jesus is God, he sacrificed himself to make himself happy, so he forgive your sin. Does that make sense? This is what they say to us. Day and night, they say, doesn't make sense. Well, Jesus, he did not sacrifice himself to the Father. Jesus, he knew what they would do to him, yet he is willing to walk it all the way to the end. Even he knew the future. When we say that Jesus sacrificed himself, doesn't mean that Jesus, he says, hey, let me call the Jews. Hey, Jews, I'm here. Come and capture me. And please don't forget to use 3 nails. Be sure they are sharp. Very silly, very stupid argument. I think we have Safaraz. Oh, no, Safaraz is not calling. I thought it says connecting. Maybe I lost connection in Skype. Maybe, okay. So it says here that Allah, he ransom, he himself, he ransom with a great sacrifice. Remember, the purpose of us to be here is to teach you Christians how not to refute them, but how to get them busted. We don't refute Muslims, we get them busted. And we cannot debate Muslims because you cannot debate a liar. So you have to get him busted. This is the only way. This is why you see many Muslims, they choose people who do not know much, so they can, you know, play games. We have a Muslim, I guess. Let's see. We are calling this Abdul. And he is not answering. I wish there is a way to change the ring of Skype. It's really annoying. He is not answering. Let's try one more time. Let's hope he will answer. He is not answering. Maybe it's just plain, I don't know. I will give it one more last try. All right, he is not answering. Obviously, he's playing games. All right, until we find a serious Muslim, we continue. Here we ask ourselves, Allah, he gave sacrifice. Allah gave sacrifice to whom? Any Muslim can answer? See, the word which is mentioned here is not my word. It's your word. And the one is talking is Allah. And as you see, Allah, he called himself we. You see, remember, Allah is one. But Allah is we. If you ask the Muhammadan, why Allah he keeps saying the word we if he is one, they say to you, it's as a phrase of majestic, like a king he say we, but this is really stupid and silly. Why? Because that's mean Allah, he don't feel he is really well respected by being one. Do you understand, guys, what I mean? If Allah he say we, and that is for the purpose to be like big, like we, you know, not I, you know, like intimidating, let us say. He want to intimidate us. We. That's mean it's not fit for this God. He don't like it to be I. Because how a word can change a position of God? How a word can elevate his value? So are you saying to me that your God, he depends in a language to elevate himself? Isn't it this is silly and stupid? So Allah is one, but he is we. And then he says, we ransomed his son with a great sacrifice. Okay, so now Mr. We sound like Chinese for me. By the way, I used to speak Chinese, but what happened once, when Allah he sent me al-Buraq and I went to the seventh heaven, in my way, I fell down from the top of the donkey. And when I fell down, I hit with the, like, you know, the angel next to me, he have an iPad. So I fell down and I grabbed him, the angel, because I wouldn't want to fall down, but his iPad hit my head. And since then I lost my, most of, like 99% of the Chinese I know. The only word I remember like Bruce Lee, you know? Yeah, I remember this one, Bruce Lee. Yeah. Bro and Lee, you know, because he's like, he was like a bro for me, you know, and his name is Lee. Okay, just to let you know. And Lee in Chinese mean sacrifice, majesty, Allahu Akbar. Okay. So this is, by the way, true story, Sahih Bukhari, hadith number 00, Zakir Naik. So Allah, Mr. We, he decide, this is Mr. We. Let us explain in details. Mr. We, he decide to make ransom. A sacrifice. Allah, Mr. We, he gave sacrifice to who? We'll go back to we. So we, he sent sacrifice to we, and the we sacrifice came back to we. But why? Hey Muslims, anyone can explain this? So the silly Muhammad, he copied a story from the Bible. In the Bible, it makes sense that God himself is sending his son to sacrifice for our sake. In the Bible, this is why we see, did you ask yourself why God, he asked Abraham to sacrifice his son? What about sacrificing himself? Why God did not ask Abraham to sacrifice himself? Why his son? So there is a symbolic for the word son.